Hey, Tony Gasson here. Now, somebody sent me the KeKe Palmer thing. A few people sent me the KeKe Palmer booty cheeks. Now, see, this is a thing what a lot of men don't think about. Now, if I remember correctly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember there was a time that I thought KeKe Palmer said she liked women. Either she liked women, or she was bisexual, or she was open to other situations. It was something to that effect, I thought. Now, you may have to Google it. But the other thing is our society is so sexually charged. Even conservative women who were always seen as conservative, maybe even called the prude, goody two shoes, even those women today are wearing booty shorts, very tight leggings, very tight shorts. And it's just really because of the perversion in society and the sexual perversion. What happens is we become more and more desensitized to decency. I heard Zig Ziglar say a quote that said, the more a person curses, the less sensitive they become to their behavior. And that's why cursing is typically associated with foolishness or violence. Like ignorance, foolishness, violence. Rarely is cursing associated with intellect or religion or righteousness. And so the same thing in our society, we are being overly saturated with soft porn. Also, the fact that a lot of porn is free to people. And I even saw a woman suggesting that couples should watch porn together. So there may even be Christian married couples watching porn together. So we're becoming so desensitized, and the music is so nasty and so raunchy and so defiled that having a see-through outfit with your booty cheeks showing, with your booty cheeks exposed, is now almost becoming normal. And whereas maybe even 10 years ago we would look at it as indecent or doing too much, now it's par for the course. So that outfit that KeKe had on, when I went to a boxing match in Dallas, I saw several women with that same outfit on. And I was like, what is the purpose of this? Like, what is the point of this? Now, the red flag for me is Buddy coming out and addressing it publicly. That right there signals that the relationship is over, or that is very toxic inside of there. Now, one thing you have to understand about spirits is that when a spirit is open to being physically active with both genders at any point in their life, then that spirit is something that you can't contain, something that you can't control. And that's up to that person and where they are mentally, emotionally, spiritually on keeping themselves in check. Personally, as a man, if I was a single man, now as a married man, I would never let my wife, I wouldn't be with a woman who would go out to a public event with her booty cheeks exposed, because it's different if you go onto the beach where you have on a bathing suit and then you may have on a see-through cover up, because your booty about to be seen anyways in that bathing suit. But inside of closed doors, inside of four walls, to where you're not at the beach, you're not about to get wet, at least not on your booty cheeks by water, then I wouldn't be able to do it because it would say something about the person. Because in order for me as a man to see a woman bare booty cheeks, she has to have on a thong or a thong bathing suit. And I have to be at the beach with her, the pool with her, or I have to be in the dressing room with her, or I have to be in private, in an intimate setting with her. So if a woman will show me something that should that I would only be able to see if I was intimate with her, then that lets me know that she doesn't see that part of her body as a private part. That is a public part. And if that is a public part, then it invites public attention. And we don't get to dictate what type of energy comes with that attention. And it's dangerous because we can say, hey, it's on a man's, it's up to a man to be responsible. Just because a woman has this on doesn't give a man the right to say this or do that. And while that is true, when has a rapist, someone who uses date rape drugs, cared about your rights? When has someone who takes what they want cared about your rights? So it does open you up to other spirits. The spirit that's in you that has you feeling that your private part is for public consumption, public viewing pleasure, will attract spirits. We spiritual beings having a human experience. So when you do something in the physical that comes from a spirit, you attract other spirits and you repel other spirits. So if I see a woman showing a private part publicly, my spirit that I'm operating in and from is going to be appalled. I'm going to feel sorry for her. I'm going to wonder, why is she doing this? Why is she showing this much that I would have to otherwise be in the bedroom with her and seeing her in her underwear to see this view that she's giving me publicly, that now I can have an image, and if I have a picture or a video, I can make love with her in my mind. I can masturbate to her, and the brain does not know that I did not sleep with her because I was looking at her and my body had a release. The brain only knows that release that I just had reproduces. And we were consuming the imagery of this woman. So therefore, mentally, my brain has just reproduced with this woman. So if a woman will give a man that, then a man has no need for that woman unless he is operating from a spirit that makes him want to take by force this woman. And so these spirits is the spirits that we have heard about, if the allegations are true, about Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby and Russell Simmons. So those spirits inhabit men and women, because there are also women who date rape and they do it to other women, and some do it to men. And so these spirits inhabit humans. And so the young man should have had that conversation with his woman. So being a married man, I would never post publicly about what my wife doing wrong. I would tell her, hey, I don't really agree with that picture. Can you, like, what was your thought process on that? And then I would let that tell me what this is saying about her in this season of her life. And then I will address that, where she's operating from. And then if this is a new thing, so I'm a personal example. I'm not with the club. I ain't with the club. I'm not with that. And if you're going to go out into this type of place, then you need to go out with your man when you married. And we had a situation where my wife had a friend who invited her out to like a lounge. And then they had like an R&B night coming up, and she went back to the lounge. Well, When I Googled the lounge to see where they were going, I come to find out, and my wife didn't even really know it, it was like a cigar bar and lounge, but it don't say it outside. You got to go read the description and see that people is in there. It's a cigar bar, it's a hookah bar, or what have you. And I let her know, I say, listen, you a wife with 2 kids. If you want to go to like a live music lounge, like where people are eating dinner and there's like a DJ playing, but if you don't smoke, you shouldn't be in a cigar lounge. If you don't smoke, you shouldn't be in a hookah lounge. I say I didn't. That ain't what I married, because I would never marry a woman who smokes. I would never marry a woman who, even as married with kids, want to be in the club or something that resembles the club. Because as a man, I know what men go to the club for. Men go to the club to sexually violate women, to grab booty. The only way a man going to the club other than to find a woman that he could take home to sleep with, or violate that woman in the club, or date rape that woman, or we go to the club to get women. Point blank period. The only other men who goes to the club with another, or the hookah lounge or the cigar thing, is if they just with their boys or whatever and they like that man time. But for men who is about women, you looking for a woman that you could get her phone number, somebody you could holler at, somebody you could take home, somebody you could do something with. And then for the real nasty men, they trying to slip something in a drink. And so I had to say, hey, listen, this ain't who I married, and you might not see nothing wrong with it. It might be just whatever, but you got to look at who inviting you. Is this person married? And is she married to a Tony Gaskins? So she might be married, or she might have a boyfriend. This person might be married, but what is her husband doing? What do they live like I live? So if I'm not like their husband, then you not like them. And if that's who you like, and if that's what you are, and you just wasn't trying to be nice and just trying to accommodate, I think it was somebody's birthday. I say, okay, that's an exception to the rule. But if this finna be a habit, I'm finna be gone. Cause that ain't how I get down. That ain't how I move. And the point was made and it was clear. And then it was a thing like, oh no, that ain't it. I don't need to go there. I don't want to go there. Like, okay, we just get some clarification. And then the same thing with today, for us men who are conservative and like what have you, we even looking at certain posts that women make online. Like I'm always talking to guys who have a problem with the way they women may be posting. And that's because as men, we see a woman's body as pure, as sacred. Like when we go into that mode, to that mindset, we value and respect our woman's body. And we also know how the mind of men work. And we also know that humans can be tempted. So if you posting booty cheeks, you're inviting temptation. And so what the young man did, it really was, he was trying to shame her and bash her because he was jealous. It was jealousy about, it wasn't even about Usher singing to her, it was her reaction to Usher. She acted like she was kind of fanning herself and kind of screaming like a groupie, like a fangirl, which is what you supposed to do. She's an actress. She could have felt absolutely nothing. I don't think anybody Googling and oogling and over Usher. He done been out here too long. And there been too much stuff floating around about him and what he might be carrying and spreading. And I think he got it, thrown out of court or whatever, or was able to sue the lady for defamation. But I really don't think nobody like that over Usher right now. And so when she was doing that, I seen the actress in her. And especially if she the same one that was in the women at one point. So I don't trust nothing from a situation where somebody might be sexually confused or into whatever. But the way I look at it is he got jealous that she not fangirling over him. and that made him kind of look like a sucker, to where your woman is doing all of this over a man. And to be honest with you, me being a conservative man, because KeKe is not my woman, when I seen the outfit, I really ain't think nothing of it, just because how nasty our world is. It's just how, I mean, Beyonce, who we used to put on a pedestal and look up to her as like this beautiful, classy goddess. I mean, her outfits be very, very seductive and raunchy in her performances, and so it's just becoming so normalized, which is sad, to where you really only take it personal if it's your woman. And so that was part of it, but it probably was 20 to 30% of him caring about what she had on, and the rest was more so about how she was acting over that man when, whatever that was. But I have talked to guys who they don't appreciate this post or that post from their lady, but when I talk to them, I tell them like, well, the post really don't do nothing for me. Like, you might be offended by it or you might not like it, but in the grand scheme of things, that really ain't looking at it no type of way, just because it's so overly sexualized today. Like, she posting with her booty tooted or whatever picture from the back, but a man can go and see Megan Thee Stallion literally twerking with that thing, shaking and gyrating with a thong on. So because he has access to that, this picture of just posing from the back or having on this bathing suit ain't really moving the needle anymore. Whereas 5, 10 years ago, yeah, it probably would have been, wow, she posted with a thong bathing suit on. But now it's like, not only can you see thongs and thong bathing suits, but you could see the women on a regular network like Instagram twerking and gyrating and having it clapping and bouncing. And that's way more activity going on and will be way more stimulating to the male mind than just a woman posing in a bathing suit or in an outfit in a static post. So the bar has been raised, goalpost move, whatever you want to call it. And what that's a sign of, or what Buddy did, is that the relationship is about to get very volatile, very toxic, very abusive if it's not already. It sounds like they kind of already in some mess, and people don't think about the spiritual. So if this young lady was, or is bisexual, that means she dealing with some spiritual things, and so that person could also be part of the problem, because no woman is ignorant to the way a man is. That wasn't the first time she found out that's how he feel or that's how he think. Now it's different, and this is what women have to understand too, is it's a double standard. People showed what he posted of her, but what he posted of her, she had on, and she was kind of like making her booty twerk or clap or bounce, but she was fully clothed. You couldn't see her booty cheeks through satin, sheer, see-through, whatever. And then he posting thirst traps. He had his shirt off sitting on the bed like it was before or after a session of sex. So that's kind of, to me, it's lame. I would never, even with an 8-pack, never post a picture like that. It's kind of thirst trappy, and it just kind of like, as men, we not like that. We're not supposed to be posting selfies in the mirror. It's just something we're not supposed to do. That's a feminine trait. And the way he went out online and said this publicly is also a feminine trait. Like, we'll see women, when they get cheated on and they get hurt, they react publicly. They'll go out publicly and post receipts. A lot of women do that. Even classy, respectable women will go out and post receipts. If a woman does it, it's feminine. A man ain't supposed to do it if he's in his masculine. So if my wife posts something and I don't like it, I'm gonna tell her, hey, I don't like the way that come off. I don't like what that represent. I think people may read into it. Take that down. And then people will look at that as like, oh, that's control or something like that. But no, it's protecting your family, your household, as the head of your household, as a leader. You saying, hey, this could put us into some mess. because not even just with you, but it also, women could read into this and say, oh, it's a little seep in because he might be in his feelings about that post, or that might look like a thirst trap. And I'm saying but I'm not really speaking to me because my wife don't post thirst traps. She don't post like that. But I'm just saying that, speaking in first person, of that's how I would handle it, because then that may make a woman start slipping in, and so now it's introducing other things. So the same way, let's say a woman wanted him, which I don't know who he is, but let's say a woman wanted him. If she see he now visibly upset, virtually upset, socially upset, to where he taking this to the public, now she see where she could slip in that back door. Hey, I totally understand how you feel. I would never do such a thing. You're such a great man and you carry yourself so well. I don't even know why she would embarrass you like that. Now she music to his sore ears. Now he able to strike up a conversation. If she's a celebrity, if she got a blue check, if she got money, now he could strike up, hey, thank you so much for understanding. I'm getting bashed. People calling me controlling, people calling me insecure. But I just was speaking up for my family and just the representation of my son's mom and how that looks being a mother. So thank you for that. I'm glad you seen it. Now they in a conversation. Now they going back and forth. Now in his vulnerability and his anger and his weakness, they could end up in an affair. All off of what the woman did, which was, could have been ill advised if that ain't for their family. Now the thing about it is some men that they don't care about the visual representation of their woman. Like I've walked past a man, I was in Atlanta for something, and I walked past a man and his woman had on shorts that stop at the middle of her booty cheek. So a whole half of her booty cheek was hanging out of the jean shorts, just bouncing and jiggling, showing the two-tone meat and everything. You know how sometimes the booty be darker than the leg. You can see the two-tone meat, and it just bouncing and jiggling. And I was like, man, I said to myself, I need to be more secure or more of a man or something if this guy let his woman come out with her booty jiggling like that. But he's with her, so it's not like a man gonna go shoot his shot. But if she walked to that bathroom and that man sitting down, a man might literally grab her booty. No, he don't have the right, but a man who do that don't care about your rights. And so you still could be exposing yourself and putting yourself at risk and in harm's way for these complete savages that's out here. So we have to think about representation. It's no different if a man walking around in thong underwears like he danced for Chip and Dale. There's gonna be a group of women that's gonna walk up and just grab him a handful, or walk up and slap him on the booty. Those women don't have that right, but women do that to men all the time. If a man got his shirt off, she might, and she think he's sexy, he got an 8-pack, she might go rub on his chest. Why are you touching that man? That ain't your right. But we done seen that happen too. It's just because of what he represented. He's saying my private parts, my private areas are out. So that means I want attention or I want to be touched. That's how people read into it, even though that's not true. Even though somebody, because ironically, I'm going to tell you something. I've found that virgins, I've met virgins who dress more seductive and revealing than women who aren't virgins. And it's because the woman has that sexual energy brewing up inside of her, but she's never given into it. She's never had sex. So it has not been quenched. It has not been fed. It has not been dealt with. So that energy is exposing and oozing out in another way. So she may wear something with her stomach out, her back out, her booty out, and literally be a virgin. And then a woman who sleep with a different man every week may come in with jeans and a blazer. And so when you really start to study human behavior, you start to really understand that it's flipped a lot of times. That a lot of times the woman that you can't sleep with is the woman that reveal her body the most, and that's her outlet, that's her expression. And then the woman that you could sleep with in one night, she may be fully clothed. And so that's where our perception is not always reality, or it's just our reality and it might not be that person's reality. So I think that KeKe probably just was in a state to where she see how the society is and how the culture is, and she just wanted to be on trend and relevant. And that's all it was. And she comfortable with her body. And you also want to show that bounce back ability. You want that little praise and admiration and adulation for having the kind of body that could just snap back. It's something to that. It's psychological as well to say, yes, I'm a mom, but I still got it. And trying to be like, what they call the MILF. I don't curse, I don't even like to use the abbreviation, but it was something like that. So I feel like from her, it was more innocent. And then you got to be crazy if you want Usher Dang-a-Lang. So I don't think it was nothing. I don't even think she attracted to that man. I don't think she really felt like that about that man. Because everybody know Usher done been out here for a while. And if he is not practicing abstinence, everybody know he probably done had him his fair share. If you trying to get in line to sleep with Usher, you need therapy. I'm gonna be honest with you, need therapy. Like that shouldn't even be desirable. Cause that thing could have been in any and everything. So we have to think about this thing realistically and be honest with ourselves. And I feel bad for them because I hate when your relationship is like a house. A lady taught me this when I was working in a group home. And your house, you lock your doors. You lock your doors. You close your blinds. You keep your grass cut so you can see the snakes. You pay your dues. You don't air out your personal business, your personal behind the scenes feelings. You don't air that out publicly. So I feel bad for them as a couple. And then me being a relationship coach and also me being married for 16 years, that sends out a whole lot more signals to me of what could be going on behind closed doors. Because when something that personal can spill out to the public, that means it's boiling and running over behind closed doors. So the conversation she probably gave him, and what it is he could have known about the outfit, and if he didn't know about it, he was so hurt and probably went to texting her or whatever. But he could have known about it and told her, I don't think it's appropriate. And she said, bump you, I'm finna do me. You ain't even tell me what to do. And so we also are going into this age of rebellion. We're going into this space of rebellion to where a lot of women today are spitting in the face of their man who is trying to be a protector and provider and telling the man, you're not finna protect and provide for me. And feeling like that makes her less of a woman to have a protector and a provider. When a man could know the landscape and could know what the woman is up against and could know what could happen to her or what could come into her life and unnecessary drama and temptation. So there could be a type of man who they see her in that outfit. Let's say it's Drake, just for the sake of talking about certified lover boys. I think that's what his album was. Let's say it's Drake. And let's say he hasn't had a woman that is KeKe's build. Or maybe he ain't had it in a few years. And then he see her out, with the booty cheeks showing. Let's say he's dropping her DM. Now their relationship has a new layer of drama and temptation that's unnecessary had another type of outfit been worn. Because you could wear patent leather pants, you could wear leggings, you could wear a form-fitting dress, body contoured dress, you could wear jeans with slits in the knees with a halter top or mid-drift with a blazer and still give off the same sex appeal. So it's a way to look sexy and still look sophisticated or respectable, and to let a man know you sexy, but you're not a piece of meat on display. And it's a way to do it. And I think that we can't be ashamed about having conservative views or respecting our body. It's like I can go and get on this Ozempic and lose 30 pounds and then get online and show my chest and show an 8-pack of abs and lick my lips for women who may be attracted to that. But that's also going to attract gay men. It's also going to attract loose booty women. It's also going to attract a lot of different spirits into my life while I'm trying to have a marriage. And so when Buddy could be evolving and changing and saying, "Hey, I'm a father. I got to move different. Let me start posting thirst traps." But then people went and dug up them pictures of him with his shirt off and sitting in underwear on the bed. That's a very insinuating picture. And so if that was recent, then he wrong because that's a double standard, and you can't have no double standard. So I can't tell my wife, "Hey, don't post nothing that's sexually explicit or something that's like a sexual innuendo," and then I go and post something with a sexual innuendo. But now, if that's old, if that's way back when, before he got with her or before they had a child, and he's not trying to invite that type of spiritual warfare into his life anymore, and he's hoping that she will grow and evolve with him as his partner, then you can't be mad about that. But also, that's a private conversation. It's like what's done is done. Nobody even thought nothing of it, even paid attention to it because of where our world is, but had that conversation behind closed doors. So for it to go out to the public, that let me know it's smoke in the city. And so that's what we have to realize, because you're going to see the same thing with just local couples in your community. Not everybody is celebrity, not everybody in the industry, but you're going to see this locally in your community. You're going to see this with your friends and family members. And this could happen in your relationship when you get in a relationship or if you in a relationship. And so that's why I'm addressing this, so that we can learn from it and evaluate just the spiritual views of it and what it's saying, and seeing both sides. And I ain't judging nobody because I can't sentence you. All I could do is just throw my little 2 cents out there because it's for public consumption. And so we're going to consume it and break it down regardless. So I want to put that, my perspective out there on it, so you understand that it could be some other things at play here. So, hey, God bless you. And I will say, you got to know what you want. You got to know what you want. And my wife, she even remind me of that too. She'll tell me, like, listen, if a woman will do this and do this and do this and do this, then that's also the type of woman that do this and do this and do this. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have no woman who, covers up like she dressed sexy or sophisticated or sporty or cool or fashion forward, but yet without showing all her goods, and then expect that woman to also be the type of woman that's gonna do this and do this and do this. Meet you in the laboratory on the plane to sleep with you. The woman that's gonna meet you in the laboratory on the plane to sleep with you is also, that take a lot. The spirit that you breaking laws, you breaking rules, you doing a lot. You taking on all these germs. It's filthy in that laboratory. So if you're gonna do that, then that spirit may also steal, embezzle, lie, backstab, might do other things. So we have to understand, you can't go out and say, "Oh, I want this woman because she gonna have threesomes," but then get mad when she go out with her booty cheeks exposed. "Oh, I want this woman because she don't believe in marriage. She ain't gonna make me marry her, but yet be called my wife," and then get mad when she go out with her booty cheeks exposed. So it got to line up spiritually. Hey, this Tony Gasson. God bless you. We're gonna talk soon.